Sometimes fear arises when there's a danger or a threat, and that's happening so that we can be guided to protect ourselves in a calm way. But sometimes fear arises in us when there's no real danger or threat. And that could be a really tricky water to navigate because there's not a sense of calm there. There's no real security grounded, right? It's this reactive conditioning thing that's like popping us out of the now into the past in a reactive way. And it could be like so easy to get stuck in that. And that could look so many different ways, like somebody who's super reckless and they're doing dangerous things and they're not doing risk assessment and protecting themselves. Or it could be like the opposite end of it where it's actually safe and that person doesn't really feel safe. So they're withholding, one, their love, but they're the feeling of safety, and they're withholding the opportunity to play in whatever it is they're scared of if it's really safe. So what I've been noticing, when I feel fear and there's no real threat, I immediately and very gently, very compassionately encourage myself to step into calm because I don't have to bolt and run away, right? Once I see that, I step into calm and I really breathe into it and I look into it and I say like, oh, okay, am I afraid of the tall grass? Let me look in the grass. Oh, am I afraid of that? And then I'm like breathing into the moment, breathing into it, feeling into it, and then I open my heart more and more and realize I am safe. So I'm going to share a little story that goes along with this, and there's a two-part story. I was at a marsh and I saw a baby copperhead this past week, and in that moment I felt balance, I felt wise. The fear is a different quality, right? So I see this thing, I had this knowing, it was calm, a knowing, I see it's a snake, I know, let's move away, right? Baby copperhead, no thanks, let's go guys, we could look over here. But I didn't bolt, right? Okay, so then we were just at a different wetland area and there was water and the kids were like, oh, I wanna go in. And I immediately was in balance, no real threat, felt fear. And I was like, no guys, snakes. Poor kids adopted my fear right away and they were like, I'm so afraid of the water, but yet they wanted to go in it, right? And because I was seeing this fear on them, it was like, you know how projection makes it like super easy to see something that might be in you? I was like, you know what, guys? I think this is an imbalanced fear. Let's see, are we safe right now to explore this? And we looked and we saw we were. So then I went over to the water. It's clear, I could see through it. And I'm like, okay, let's really look here. Let's assess, is everything safe? Is there any real danger, even though we feel afraid? And we looked and I was like, and let's see here, let's see. I'm starting to feel more calm the more that I'm doing this, but I feel a little afraid still. But I am seeing there's no clear danger. And I knew that, and we were confident with that. That was in balance. And then I said, okay, well, what do we want to do from here? Do we want to go do something else? Or do we still want to play in this water? And they were like, we want to play in the water. And I was like, okay, but before we go in that water, we need to make sure that we step in feeling courage, not fear. Because no, that's not what we're doing. We're not going to get stuck in fear. So we did some affirmations. We like really motivated ourselves up into courage. We breathed it in, we breathed it out, and then we played in the puddles and the, whatever it is, the marsh. And it was so fun. It was so fun. We like made so many games out of it. And I want to just point out that if I bolted in my fear, my unfounded, no real threat fear, then I wouldn't have had that fun, and I would have closed my heart to having fun, and I would have taught the kids to close their heart to having fun too. So next time you feel fear, whether there's a threat or not, let's have the courage to make our first step in courage, to not stay stuck in that, and to rise up out of any imbalance.